Hi guys, welcome to yet another video. In today's video, on the series of topics that we are covering for the NPAT examination, we will be discussing in today's video the aspect of subject-verb agreement, right? So without any further ado, let's get started with the video. Right. So we all know that subject-verb agreement is an area in grammar where many people find it much difficulty in tackling the question. So the main objective or the main aim of today's video is to make sure that you all understand what is the meaning and how can we tackle the questions related to subject-verb agreement. So taking apart from the examination point of view, we all know that subject-verb agreement is a very critical aspect in the case of effective communication and also in the case of academic writing. So whenever we obey the rules of subject-verb agreement, we make sure that we are using a very formal language. We are enhancing whatever we are communicating. Also in the case of academic writing, by obeying the rules of subject-verb agreement, whatever we have written makes much more sense to the reader. So we have to ensure that we adhere to the all the rules regarding to subject verb agreement, right? So by ensuring or following these rules, we actually give much more clarity and precision in terms of language. So moving on, what is subject verb agreement? So by definition, subject verb agreement refers to the grammatical rule ensuring that the number and person of the subject align with the verb. So what does this mean? So in simple words, in a given sentence, if you have a singular subject, use the singular verb. Vice versa, if you have a plural subject, use the plural verb. So this is the very basic and fundamental rule regarding subject verb agreement, right? So if there is a singular subject, use singular verb. If there is a plural subject, use a plural verb, right? So we have some exceptions, but this is the very basic case, right? So let's look at an example. So in this particular sentence, it says the cat sleeps peacefully, right? So what is the subject here? Which is the one doing action, right? So here, who is sleeping peacefully? Which is cat, right? So that is the subject here, right? So it is a singular subject. So the verb sleeps is used in a singular form, right? So we use the singular form of sleep, right? So the sentence will become the cat sleeps peacefully. Similarly, in another sentence, it says the students study diligently. So here the subject is students and it says students. So it is in a plural form, right? So similarly, the verb study becomes plural form, which is study itself, right? So the sentence will become the students study diligently. So we are following the very basic rule here, which says if we have a singular subject, use singular verb. If we have a plural subject, use a plural verb. Now, let's look at the special cases. Right. So the first case is regarding collective nouns. So by collective nouns, whenever we use a group in a given sentence, we always read them as a singular subject. So in those cases, we have to use a singular verb. Similarly, if we have two singular subjects which are connected by the words or, neither nor, either or, we always have to go with the singular verb. For an example, we have the sentence which says, neither the bowl nor the big plate is or are clear. So here we have two singular subjects, right? So we have to use the singular verb. So it becomes neither the bowl nor the big plate is clear. Moving on, whenever we have it now, earlier we looked at the combination of two singular subjects, right? So when we have a combination of a singular and a plural subject, the verb always agrees to the subject which is closer to it, right? Let's understand this much better with an example. So take this sentence. It says neither the big plate nor the bowls dash clear, right? So we have two subjects here, which is big plate and bowls. So this is a combination between a singular subject and a plural subject, right? So as per the rule, the verb agrees to the subject closer to it, which is bowls. So if you look at the case of bowls, it is in plural form. So we have to use the plural form of the verb. So it becomes neither the big plate nor the bowls are clear. right? And moving on, another area is where we use terms related to distance, time, and money. So these are always treated as a singular subject, right? So for example, we can say 1 lakh is a large sum of money. So because it comes under money, right? So distance, time, and money are always treated as a singular subject. Now moving on to the another one, which is the case of using have and has, right? So if we have a singular subject, always use has. And if we have a plural subject, always use have. We can look at with another example of a sentence which says a lot of the cake dash been eaten, right? So we are talking about a lot of a cake, of a particular cake. So it is a singular subject. So the we have to use has, which says a lot of the cake has been eaten. Similarly, when we say lot of the cakes, right? So the is cakes, so it becomes plural. So the we have to use have. So the sentence will become a lot of the cakes have been eaten. So this is the case regarding to the usage of have and has, right? So these are some of the very special cases that you can encounter in examination. So basically what you have to recall is that the very basic rule which says if you are using a singular subject, use a singular verb. If you are using a plural subject, use a plural verb. So now I have some tips for you. So one major thing that I have to give to you is the read the entire sentence for subject verb identification. So if you are confused, go through the sentence again and again. Then it makes much more clear. And always identify the subject, right? So which is the one which is doing the action in a sentence. So identify the subject and check for whether it is singular or in plural form. And another tip is to practice more and more. By practicing more and more, this particular aspect to subject verb agreement will become much more easier. So with that, we have come to the end of today's session. I hope you have a very informative session. So stay tuned for much more videos. Thank you, guys.